a time where so much emphasis is being placed on health and well-being for young people, there are more and more barriers standing in the way of their involvement in sports.
The barriers to participation are generally around a number of things. They are around cost.
Lots of facilities are not free.
Lack of infrastructure and lack of venues is one.
And often the facilities are not in the places where children and young people are or want to be.
People working in the built environment can have a massive impact on young people if they create innovative spaces that bring sports to the heart of the UK's urban communities. Many extreme sports were invented by children and young people creating their own sports to fit their environment.
All of these sports like parkour, BMX, skating, there was no actual field or environment that was in place, nothing that was actually set up, and that's what made the joy of those sports so amazing at the time. And now architects are sort of trying to turn that around and say, how can we create environments to suit and encourage these types of sports people and individuals? Architecture sometimes leads the way and sometimes tries to catch up.
In Peckham, in South East London, there's a thriving inner-city BMX track, and part of its success comes down to the fact that it's designed by the community for the community.
I designed it along with the builders, and all I'd done was stand there and give them orders regarding the way I wanted the jump shaped, the way I wanted the corners, and now we're producing some of the fastest riders in England.
I'm 2 times British champion for my age group. It's a good track for kids to learn their skills on.
An important part of the continued success of Peckham's BMX track is that it retains the community support.
When it comes to the community, they are 100% behind it because they come out on their balconies to watch the racing. They enjoy looking at the kids when they're out on the Saturday afternoon doing something positive in Peckham. It looks really nice and it's improving lives.
The ideal would be that all sports facilities could be designed by the people who are going to use them, but that's not always possible. However, innovative approaches are being used to make sure that all the facilities are designed well and are well used. When Crawley Council in Sussex was commissioned a company to construct a facility for parkour, they chose parkour practitioners, not playground designers.
The heading of a training area, the PKTA, the parkour training area, was specifically so that this could not be an excuse to put up no parkour signs anywhere else in town, as often happens with skate parks. So we made it very clear that this was to be seen as a point kind of halfway between the gym and the street.
The parkour training area was commissioned after extensive community consultation.
They targeted specifically the kind of 12 to 18-year-old bracket and asked, what would you like? And the 2 things that overwhelmingly came back and stood out were bouldering rocks and parkour.
When it comes to engaging young people in sport, urban designers and architects have to be completely in tune with the community they're designing for.
The last thing you want to do is to foist something on a community that's not going to be used. And design is a key thing. You know, we're all the same. First time we look at something, you're either engaged by it or put off by it.
But sometimes what attracts young people to a building is not what we'll normally consider great architecture. Brian Dickens has been leading the successful transformation of a derelict school in Lambeth into a community sports centre.
It's got a really good community feel. Young people are attracted to this site, they like it, they feel like it's theirs. We're currently standing in a basketball court, which has allowed us to develop a massive basketball programme. We've had mobile swimming pools here, we've had a brand new football pitch put in, we've got a boxing area, but it's very much a community hub. It's seen by the community to be theirs. And I think this is a key thing. If this was a brand new build leisure centre, I think you wouldn't find these young people in there.
In West London, you can find one of the most unusual venues for a sports facility, on a 23-acre site directly beneath the A40 motorway, commonly known as the Westway.
There are some advantages and disadvantages of having to build under a motorway. You're restricted by the height of the motorway in different places, by the motorway columns, and all of those have to be integrated into the design of what you've got.
When it was built in the early 70s, the land was put into trust for the local community to decide what they wanted to use it for.
People decided that sport and recreation should be a high priority, so eventually the Westway area was designated for sport and recreation.
The result was the Westway Sports Centre, and they have transformed the area into a space that has grounds for an eclectic variety of sports.
It's got 5 synthetic surface training pitches, a full-size synthetic pitch, 8 indoor tennis courts, 4 outdoor floodlit tennis courts.
Some of the sports simply replace the kind of games that children and young people used to be able to play at home or on their estates. Other sports are unexpected in an urban setting, like horse riding or mountain climbing.
This is the closest climbing wall to me, sports centre, and there's not many around where I live, so I don't think I'd ever think about starting to climb if it wasn't 2 minutes away.
The environment inspired us really, and we kept on looking at these columns and thinking they would make a great climbing wall. There was nothing in West London, so we thought we've got the space, we've got the interest, we've got the height, so why not do it?
Designing spaces to be used in innovative ways may be the way forward for urban sports facilities.
Sport buildings don't have to be buildings that sit all by themselves in the middle of a paddock. Sports buildings can begin to morph themselves and combine themselves with other types of functions. A sports building can be combined with a residential building. A sports building can be combined with an opera house. A sports building can be combined with an overseas cruise passenger terminal. Who knows? It's those types of blending of functions that makes architecture sometimes come up with some amazing results.
The Salmon Youth Centre in Bermondsey, South East London, was rebuilt with a view to engaging young people in the widest sense. The architects incorporated a climbing wall into the design at the top of the building overlooking London's rooftops.
The interest was there, and young people here also loved adventure.
Yo, right foot. Look, there's enough. Yes, you can.
This thing is quite scary, actually. I don't have anywhere to hold.
Can I calm down then? That was really good. I've never done anything like that, like climbing outside.
I think the main success here is when people recognize and are able to take the opportunities that is here to help them fulfill their potential.
All of these developments are small when compared to the flagship sports facilities that are being built for the 2012 Olympics in London and the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. However, to make sure that young people get involved in sport and use these venues in the future, it is even more important that the architects are in close contact with the communities who are going to be using them once the games are over.
The danger is when you do this grand stuff is that you can leave the community behind and there's not enough interaction. We're doing the multi-sports arena in Hackney, and that will be a community sports venue, 6,000 seats, retractable seating so that they can use it for anything, gymnastics, badminton, whatever the community needs. There'll be a fitness centre there, so it's all about legacy. It's not based about the Olympic Games, it's only here for 2 weeks.
The most effective way to ensure that the people designing our cities understand the needs of the diverse communities who live there is by encouraging and supporting young people from those communities to get involved in careers in the built environment. This is something the Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust has been doing for the last 10 years.
The Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust has helped me a lot. They were able to give me placements, and it was through that experience that I decided that I wanted to be an urban designer.
A UK-wide initiative from the Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust and the RMJM Architects is Architecture for Everyone. The 3-year campaign was launched in 2008 in memory of Stephen Lawrence, who aspired to become an architect before his murder in 1993.
Architecture for Everyone is a campaign which is a partnership between the Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust and RMJM Architects, and it's about ensuring that the profession, architecture profession and the built environment profession as a whole is as diverse as possible.
In 2009, Architecture for Everyone delivered design workshops to over 100 young people in London, Birmingham, Liverpool and Glasgow. They also sent a group of students to study architecture at the Harvard Graduate School of Design in Boston in the USA.
Going to Harvard was the best thing of my life so far. It's prepared me so much and really focused my aspirations onto becoming a fully qualified architect.
The more young people are contributing to architecture and the design of society from as many different backgrounds, the better design that we will have. It means that we'll have cities, communities that reflect the needs of those people that are going to be living there.
To find out more about Architecture for Everyone, visit www.architectureforeveryone.org.uk.